All right, Greg here again with another video, and I think this one you're going to like. It really could work for anyone, anywhere. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Obviously, if you're using Odoo and developing or building out applications, consulting, business systems, it's going to be really great in that, but it could really be used for anything. And it's a tip that I haven't seen anyone else really use it at this level, at exactly how I'm going to explain it. So the first thing I did was I wanted to feed ChatGPT with this design. And really what it comes down to is, for me, I want what it just says right here. I want all responses to begin with using developer profile v1. And I'm putting this in here. So just so we're clear, where you go to settings and personalizations and custom instructions. So inside of here, it's really tiny in here, so I'm not going to show it in here. But once you got what your custom instructions for your better responses and how ChatGPT should respond, that's what we're talking about. And what I haven't seen really other people do is having it right at the top say all responses begin with, and then giving a really clear definition, say using developer profile v1 and then a separator. So why am I doing that? Well, this lets me know that my custom instructions are getting used with the model that ChatGPT might be throwing at me at the time, or that after a long set of messages, I'll sometimes find it isn't using the profile anymore, and it's obvious because I don't get this at the very top. I also say here that, depending on what your use case is, you'll have to adapt this, but this is like for me as an Odoo integrator, developer, builder of systems, I wanted something where it would always double check code that you've already sent me. Before the code block, I want you to check the previous code and always acknowledge previous code analyzed. The code in this response is only code that has changed and has not been duplicated. And I give it some others to make it bold, sound in emojis. Why am I giving? I'm giving these extra instructions so that I can see that it's operating on my instructions. If I don't see anything where it says that it's analyzed the code, or that it's telling me that it hasn't been duplicated, then I can just assume that it probably has. I know I emphasize Odoo 17. I have these other important settings. I'm not going to go through them all, but I think you get the idea. And then I also have at the end here, finish all responses. Now, this is what I actually wrote up. Everything that I thought was important. Don't apologize. And that just saves time. It doesn't apologize anymore and say, oh, I'm sorry for this or sorry for that. Don't provide basic instructions. Don't repeat troubleshooting techniques. No general advice. This is important to me, so you would want to tailor yours to your use case. But what I'm explaining here is how to keep it really focused on exactly what you're wanting from it, so that you don't get noise. And then having at the end the finish all responses with, and I use this again. So now it revised the instructions and made them, I suppose, better, more concise, and those are the ones that I use. So I kept, basically asking it to add little extra things in there. I was really concerned about making sure it's Odoo 17 only, and it doesn't give me old versions of Odoo. That's a common problem, that I get no explanations that are just wasting my time, and my code presentations and things like that. So that I took and I used it, and so we'll see how that worked when I actually said here on my example. So when I actually used it with the custom instructions and I said, how could you improve this video player to make it more flexible and robust? It came back here, and notice it says using developer profile v1. So that's another example how I can have different profiles for different projects and different things, where I can kind of focus it in differently. Like as if I'm making a course, I would want explanations, for example. And then previous code analyzed. This code is in response that only code has changed and has not been duplicated. Gives a little emoji there. So this gives me confidence, first of all, that, it's at least trying to apply things. And then we can see how well it did. this is pretty concise, especially for ChatGPT. It says it's created dynamic video source parsing, it's enhanced the embedding options, and it's responsive and configurable video settings. So I did actually copy paste this in, and it compiled and it ran fine. I haven't had it make the view for it yet, but it looks solid. It looks pretty good. And then notice how it ends: developer profile V1 settings. So I hope you found this useful. Please click like, click subscribe, and if you're interested in working with me or seeing other kind of amazing kinds of things we can do with AI and Odoo and just Odoo development in general, a lot of the tricks that I've learned over the last 10 years. It's actually been 10 years for Odoo class now. I have some sales and discounts going on as I'm getting ready to release my new Mastering Odoo Development 2024. But thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful to people.